Hi everybody, no camera, at least for this part. I might try to get it working on the second part. But welcome to Materia D&D, where we play D&D our way. For those of you that follow the D&D world, hey, big news. They released parts of, teasers of, and material for in 2024. So we will be digesting that as fit. However, we will still continue to play in our 5.M system, which is a good tradition with a lot of our modifications. So if you like the way we play, please hang around. But anyways, so we're continuing with session 181 of the Crass Menagerie story, aka the mainline story of this campaign, where the Crass Menagerie were with Okuma and a team of delegates from the Cerulean Kingdom. They headed down to the ruins of Green Hill because they wanted to visualize and see what this catastrophic event was that wiped an entire city off of the map. And they were able to observe the floating earth and the change in topography and landscape from afar. However, there was not an attack, but there was an encounter in the evening which left some of the delegates hurt, and it was agreed upon that it would be best for the Cerulean delegation to take Okuma and go back up Whitlaw because they got to see what they came to see, and it was not worth risking their well-being. And in a way, this was actually why Okuma agreed to this adventure down here out of the blue, as the Menagerie found out that Okuma was actually interested in stories and gathering information and insight and intel of what has happened here since the Crass Menagerie stopped the ritual of the Maw, the Mad Titan, ritual of the Mad Titan. And now we'll figure it out. So, that way it was a natural transition and basically a jumping of duties for the Crass Menagerie. They are not operating as council guard right now. They are operating as the ragtag band of heroes, known as the Crass Menagerie. And they decided to get down towards the now lake, air quotes, I don't know, from the river Sly filling the crater that has been left behind. And they venture on the outskirts, where they take Yellow and Lulu. They were able to kind of hook around the crater and make it back to some of the actual hills that Green Hill is known for. And they started to do little markers around the area, indicating something. They weren't sure. But they wanted to get on the other side of the river Sly, so Ben casted Water Walk. They began to move across the water easily enough. And Pebble noticed something. Pebble darted down the river and started to head up. And there was a little glistening and gleaming in the sky, which I did a pretty bad job of explaining, but hey. What the Menagerie saw was the underside of something flying towards them, and it was reflecting the sunlight, because now, when I describe the vessel, they'll understand, but there's like a glass dome at the bottom. However, they came up and they saw a boat flying in the sky. I'm not sure how to handle it, or at least not sure, the DM not sure how the players would handle it. Our wizard decided to just dimension door up there, because that's what wizards do. Arcane Gate, that's right, Arcane Gate. So, carved a little hole in reality and stepped through and was on board the ship known as the River's Maw, the cargo man's ship. And this is not exactly what I wanted, but it kind of fits the theme. So, they stepped through the gate, where Loon, Al, and Yellow were actually flying up in the air to kind of go intercept the ship. Everyone else at the gate. Dazzle had a dagger at good old Davis's back because they were not sure what was going on. And later it was seen that Rex noticed them, and there was Velma and Kenross, which were not originally members of the crew, but individuals that abandoned the Verdant cause when the Sovereign gave word to leave Greenhill alone, and abandoned their duties there. They defected. Julian was helming the flying River Maw. And then later the Crass Menagerie saw Jade down below the underdeck, which he is apparently part of the crew now and is like the cartographer. And that's, where we find ourselves. The River Maw needed to return somewhere. They needed to dock, is all that the Crass Menagerie understand. So Julian gave the order, spun the wheel. these contraptions that are now mounted to the outside of the ship that hold these large crystalline like structures. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the proper colored ones, so imagine them being more like a greenish color, like what you would think like hag's blood is green, right? So kind of like that color crystal. Just deal with me. I'm doing my best. I might try to edit it and make them all green in the future, but so the vessel, and you see that there's Davis. You pick up like there's the sails, but the sails are kind of now mounted in such a way that they can swivel off the side and swivel up. And this ship didn't normally have sails really to begin with because it was just kind of a riverboat. It had like one singular sail, but you see the modification, and it begins to list and turn and dip down and kind of hook on back towards kind of the direction y'all were walking towards. And that's where we picked up with the river's maw heading steadily downwards, descending towards the coast of the, I mean, it's not technically the coast, the bank of the river. And you know how it is with the river slide, there's lots of areas where it would have hooked back on itself and kind of created these more like natural ponds. And I think it's heading to one of these very swamp-like ponds. But anything you guys want to do? Anything I missed? Any questions? Any concerns?
So is Julian at the helm right now, or at the wheel?
Yeah, so if you zoom in, the wheel is here.
Oh, okay, I see it. Gotcha.
There's a little strap over here that's like arcing, and as it kind of arcs, the crystals kind of, again, they're not pure crystals, they're artificial constructions, but you can see that there is green crystals that are incorporated to it. They seem to pulse at the same rate as this little, like, we'll call it like an arc generator behind Julian. Just to kind of make it so that you guys can go on the underdeck, and technically there is a cargo hold, which is that secret compartment. I did just copy it 3 times for you guys. Obviously, you know, the layout is not exactly the same, but the top one is kind of the correct layout. Below is just kind of use your imagination, you know, and then on the cargo deck, just kind of use your imagination as well. That is roughly the size of the ship, roughly the shape of the ship. Is, like, for the River's Maw, there is no, you know, forecastle like this. It would be like a flat-ended cargo ship, and then that's where the river, or the, you know, the maw is actually mounted on. But other than that, this kind of cover the dimensions correctly.
Nice.
Can I run up to Julian?
Yeah, man.
And I'll just be like, hey, you let me sail this on water. Can I fly it? I want to fly it. Can I fly it?
Maybe in the this is. How about I do this? I will let you put your hand on the wheel. See? Good.
I put my hand on the wheel immediately. I'm flying. This is the coolest thing ever. How'd you turn your boat into a flying boat?
A mutual friend of ours, Wiggs, got involved. You'll see.
This is so cool.
It is different, yes?
Yeah. So you could like go anywhere now. What do you guys do now? Are you like still like cargoing people, or are you adventurers, or?
We are trying to understand what has happened and the ramifications.
Oh, we make a lot of things
sure that anything that goes downriver doesn't go too far.
Smart.
That's fair. Hey, Al.
Yee?
I wanna keep my hand on the wheel, and it's Julian wants to know what happened, but I wanna fly the boat. You should tell him all of what's going on, that, you know, because we probably caused a lot of the things that they're looking into.
We'll talk. I tell you, I know much of what has happened. I'm here. Remember, we were together in this. I guess you will need to be caught up on the,
please,
what has happened for the months since that event. But let us not worry about that now. But it's good to see you. Do not board my ship without my permission again in the future. Al, Dog Thing, and Little Rabbit, you are good. You asked for it. I appreciate it. The rest of you, not board, vessel, without permission.
A million apologies.
He looked at you and he's like, "Oh yeah, you should know better."
He's chilling.
Give Davis a shit-eating grin.
You're lucky that she didn't actually, plunge the dagger. Yeah, that would have been right. It would have been -1 kidney.
If I didn't want you to know I was, whatever.
Wait, where is it?
Who said that?
Who said that?
He's right there. You not see? He's right there.
You'd think we'd know, but
Alas.
They know
Uh,
who I am.
I guess, just because you guys are symbolism, those of you who are proficient in insight check. And then, yeah, the vessel continues to, rock. So it's kind of funny. When Julian's trying to turn the handle, you're just kind of holding onto it a little bit too tight. So he's have to kind of, jerk it a little bit out of your hand. Like, come on, we're turning down. Really go. But he's still letting you just stand there out of respect for all the things that you've done in the past.
I'm flying a boat, guys.
That wasn't on.
Damn.
ooh, nice.
Natural 20.
Oh, that's right. Nirvana 20. Let's go.
Oh.
30.
No, what did your Nirvana 20 be? So 30 total?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Okay. I'll give it to you because it was a 25 DC, so it was pretty hard. So you got it. Yeah, Julian has no issue tracking where Cielo is. It's like he's used to having a super sneaky, super stealthy assassin on board.
I
I'm
feel.
over.
I
I'm
look like I
overwhelmed with a
believe that
sense
I'm
of,
invisible.
like,
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed with a sense of like happiness, joy, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like, well, shit, can't get away. No, it's like one of those little things, like when he says, yeah, I see, and it kind of clicks and it tumbles in your head. You're like, oh yeah, Julian would be good at knowing where a person is at
That's
all
cool.
times. Eyes of the Captain kind of thing. He actually has a feature called Eyes of the Captain. But anyways, so no, Julian is not worried about the other thing being said is Julian's not worried about Cielo running amok or doing anything. He already picked up on his character type. He's like, welcome to my boat. I run shadier, so I've shadier figures downriver and upriver before. So that being said, the travel time to where you guys are going, it's about 15 minutes. It's not too bad. It's kind of cool. You get a full breeze up here. You get to see the landscape. Not too much outside of what you guys have remembered has changed. But then again, you guys never really got to see this area from an aerial perspective. You always either travel by boat or on foot. Obviously, the giant crater and the floating landmasses are the exception. But do you have any questions for the crew, or at least for Julian, for this little 10-15 minute, or are we just going to go ahead and kind of let the sails kind of part out, let the crystals begin to slowly kind of
Hey,
power
Julian,
down?
how far can this thing go?
We're still figuring out the limitations. We explain it better, but it can't go everywhere as rock.
Can it go over land?
It can go over land to a degree, yeah.
Interesting.
But it can't, I can't scale it or fly it. It's such a weird thing to say. I can't fly it with fly it. At least we haven't found a path yet. Kind of weird currents in the sky that I need to use. Still learning. It has something to do with the, it points to the contraptions. Wiggs figured something out.
I don't doubt that.
So, yeah, he's been busy. Your friends have been busy too.
So is Green Post still basically where it was, or has there been any attempt to try and
No, the Green Post will probably be the new permanent settlement.
Got it.
I mean, that Mason fellow has really taught a lot of people how to build.
Oh, good.
So, you would think, it's in his name, but thought it was just a name. Turns out he's actually anyways, he's a Mason. Like I am a captain. And like you have boarded my ship.
Apologies.
No, I'm just going to. He's just gonna poke at you for a little while with that one. So yeah, Rock, as you feel the ship begin to kind of slow down, get lower, Julian will be like, all right. He puts his hands up and he kind of puts them up like so that you're full, steering. He's like, keep her steady. Okay?
Got
All
it.
right. And then you see that where he's stepping, because you guys are all proficient in perception. So, Rock, because you're there, and Davis, because you're kind of probably also observing this to see how a boat flies. He's got a couple. Where the wheel is, that makes sense. That you kind of see how it controls the sails, which are effectively like wings. But he also has now like a series of pedals by his feet, and he kind of starts loosely stepping on some or stepping off of others, and you can kind of ascertain Davis and Rock because you're far enough, Rock and Davis, you can feel it as the boat is moving. That kind of helps generate the oomph from the generator behind him that makes the crystals go up or down.
Okay.
It's now he has to kind of like control that aspect of it as well. But you do see, and as you guys are kind of coming down, Rock, go ahead and give me let's just make it a survival, but you can use your intelligence for this to see how well you navigate, because you are not proficient. Well, actually, I don't know. Do you have proficiency in...
Sky tool, sky
no.
vehicles.
Sky
I don't
vehicles.
remember if you... No, but I can check here, because didn't you take the full proficiency?
The what proficiency?
Didn't you take one of your feats as, like, tools or something?
Yes. Tools,
Yeah.
but does tools include random?
Yeah, but you may add half of your proficiency modifier to any ability check you use with a set of tools that you are not proficient. Read everything on your tool training. So, because of that, go ahead and give me an intelligence check with half of your proficiency bonus.
So intelligence. I'll just.
I'll add
Plus
that to
3.
my list of bugs.
I just rolled a normal intelligence check. Oh, wow.
9? Okay, so, so as you're kind of keeping her steady, you want to keep steady, but then it's so cool. You're like behind the wheel, and you just kind of want to start, like children do with like race cars and everything. You start to kind of just find yourself kind of moving the wheel back and forth, just kind of having fun. And Julian kind of do not crash my boat. He kind of shoves you off to the side, takes the wheel, and you kind of lost the right to hold onto the wheel for this. And he kind of sets her down, and you kind of feel Davis as like, especially you, Davis, you feel her kind of hit the water, and it kind of bows and splashes a little bit, and then she bobs down, bobs up, and then she's back on the water, and she's just really close to the water's edge, and he just lets her kind of drift into the water, and you'll see that it kind of passes vegetation. And I'll switch over here just to kind of give you an idea of like what I mean, but it's not exactly where you guys are on the map. But if you look here on the map, you see how like there's these like these little
Inlets?
inlets kind of thing. There's a lot of them. This one happens just to be like one of the major ones. So you just kind of feel yourself floating past some vegetation like an inlet. And can I get perception checks for everybody?
Good landing, Rock.
I didn't. Okay, thank you.
Oh god. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna have to be like not asking you guys to roll. Just rolling for the sake of rolling. 22, 22, 24. Yeah, pretty much everyone knows.
She just
Yeah,
drank.
yeah, 31%, yeah. Alright, so Endless Inlet, as you guys are landing, you do see that it's been, all of you notice, Luna is just having a blast. Just
She,
sniffing people, like,
what's the front of the boat called? Holy shit. By the,
The mall?
Not at the forecastle?
The Maidenhead? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, can she be up there and she'll, like, like when a seagull or a pigeon lands, but they'll have their wings out still?
yeah, she's like,
She's doing that.
The Winkleton,
Right.
right, Adam? The Winkleton?
the Wingleton, she's doing the Wingleton
Oh.
maneuver. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, and she's up there, and, like, Rex has just given her scritches, because Rex is like, I love you
Good
so
day.
much, poor Sophie. So yeah, yeah, she's still got her wings out, kind of catching the wind as it bobs, and she says, "Eh." But yeah, all of you notice. So this inlet has been worked on. I mean, it's still covered by the vegetation on the way in, but once you get past this like wall of swamp vegetation, there is almost like a port or a docking area. There is a structure that has been set up here, and you can kind of tell it's meant for this vessel. There's a docking area for it. There's some ropes and everything to help lash it to the side. But there's also a building there, and the building is not like massive or anything, but it's definitely been constructed and constructed fairly well. It's a mixture of materials from Adobe style like brickwork, likely inspired by your friend Mason, Grand Chris Mason. But there's also like it seems like metal paneling and woodwork and everything. And you do see like there's a little smokestack kind of coming out of one of the chimneys, kind of just lightly poofing. You can kind of see like a glow kind of coming through some of the like windows that are like kind of indicating that there's probably like a forge or something working in there. And the other thing that's odd, and Cielo, you pick up on it, because kind of just observing the area in them, because you rolled a hard. There's interesting, like almost like terrarium effect going on. You kind of see that like there's little carved inlets to allow some of the water to kind of flow in and under the building. You see that there's like little tubes and pipings that are kind of coming off of the building that kind of lead out from the building and into the water. Cielo, you notice just kind of as you're kind of observing the water, there's tons of different types of critters around. A lot of them being like seafaring. You see a lot of crabs.
That's Julian. That's like Wiggs's place, right? That's Wiggs's place.
That would be one of his workstations, more specifically for where he works on my boat.
Oh, okay.
Another friend of yours?
Yeah, he's well, I guess he's the one who helped fancy up this vessel to fly. I guess he's very smart.
Hey, Wiggs would easily be probably one of the smartest people you'll ever meet.
No argument there.
So, man has a way to make things. But you guys know, your friends will learn, I'm sure. Anyway, and then as you see it, Yellow, you also pick up that there's another person, a brown-haired, thin, olive-skinned boy or young man, kind of waving as you guys are kind of coming in. He's got a rope kind of ready, and he kind of tosses it over. Rex grabs it. Davis, you would pick up on it when you see the rope and everything. That's Billy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, Billy's here. But Davis, you gotta see, those that, like, so Davis and Al, especially because you guys don't like or love or hate or whatever you want to do, what your relationship with Billy is. Billy's kind of covered in some, like, soot and everything. He's got, like, those typical, like, artifice-style goggles in his hair, pulled up. He's got, like, an apron on that looks like maybe apprenticing or something under Wiggs. Or at least an assistant around here. Like, oh, hey, I know these faces. The menagerie guys, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
Billy.
Hey, I don't remember your name, but hey, nice to see you. Welcome. I didn't know we were having company, just like, no problem. You know, always friends. Uh, should I let Wiggs know? Oh, Wiggs is actually here. But yeah, he's working.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay.
Tell him. Go.
He looks at you and then looks at Julian. And Julian says, "Go ahead." He's like, "Okay, bud." Very quickly pick up on that. He is not going to take orders from you.
Nah, I don't care. I'll still give him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the boat comes up. Rex ties it off. Ross jumps over the side and kind of helps lash the vessel to the dock
Yeah,
port.
I'll help him with it.
And U. It is set up in such a U, so like the front of the boat drifts in forward, and there's dock all the way around it, like in a U shape. And you can get off either side or jump. The back is kind of exposed. Right, that's me. However, so kind of going on your crazy perception check. On top of all the piping and all the different critters, and you kind of notice that like some of the, again, it's like crabs, and you even notice some of the like more colorful fish and things in this area. Kind of at the dock itself, there is like some additional metal working that kind of stretches off of the building towards the dock itself. It kind of hangs over the ship. You want to give me an intelligence check? You can. I don't know what it would be. I guess it could be maybe a history check if you want. Yellow. If you've ever seen or heard of anything or something similar to like this.
I think he just muted himself.
All right. No. Yeah. So yeah. You're not sure. There seems to be more stuff around, kind of hanging over and above the dock itself. But that's not all that you pick up on it right now. So let me.
These people that you made friends with they're really interesting, but it's all so unnatural, but it's full of nature.
Wiggs is pretty natural. Just again, if you see any like little water creatures, they could be friends of his, so be careful. Yeah, this boat is something else though.
I took a good look not that long ago on Loon before we got on the boat. There's nothing really dangerous around.
That's good.
Everything's pretty friendly around here.
All right. Just kind of moving them up a bit. So as you guys dock, you guys are free to debark the vessel. Some planks are kind of pulled out from the top and kind of drifted on, kind of hanged over the side, lashed very quickly, and you're able to kind of boom, 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 work your way down, and you're on the dock. And as you hit the dock, it does buoy under the water as the water comes out, and you kind of realize that they're just kind of floating there, likely to deal with, tide and everything. The tide's not too extreme here because you're inland, but still tide happens. So you make it. And you kind of hear, because all of you have very good perception, but you kind of hear the sounds of dinking and clinking and metal on metal coming from the workshop. But after a few and kind of getting off your ship and kind of gathering your bearings, the rest, ship is lashed. Julian will pull out some sort of container, it looks like, from close to the steering wheel, where the generator for the arc generator. So he kind of pulls it out, and you hear this kind of subtle, indicating likely that it's been powered down, or at least any elastic bark the ship. All right, I guess let's go home for now.
Yeah, how far is that?
We're here.
Oh. So, do you guys live? It says Greenpost. Are we near Greenpost, or do you just live around here?
I mean, we live on the boat, but the boat comes here to sleep, so we sleep here.
Oh, okay.
The Greenpost is a ways down. Are you going to Greenpost?
I guess we don't necessarily have to, but it would be nice.
All right. We can. I mean, you can go. I'm not going to stop you. I just figured you wanted to stay here and catch up.
We do.
Okay. Very well. So, you need to find a good note to DM. Find a good inspirational back art for this section. All right. So, as you guys kind of step into the workstation, the clinking and clanging has stopped. The little puffing of light and forge seemingly has slowed down. You quickly, for Cielo and Ben, something new. For the rest of you, something kind of nostalgic. There's that smell of salt water and like the beach and the sea here as you kind of open and kind of walk through. Hope you guys remember why. So, after a moment, you kind of hear some hands kind of clapping, like, clapping their hands off, and Billy kind of walks on by, and then the familiar face of the Triton, the merfolk, wigs. Actually, see if I can still do the zoom in on him. There we go. It's large.
I don't see a zoom.
Oh,
I don't.
I didn't actually zoom in.
No, is he wrong layer maybe?
On token layer. I didn't do the zoom in on real time. Or on, no. Let's fix that. I don't know why it's not doing it. Oh, well.
I don't even see his token. Did you put it on the layer?
Oh, I moved you guys. There we go. Wah.
Ah,
why.
yeah, we're over here.
Mm.
Hey, that's my bad. There you go.
Yeah, that's the boy.
Little zoom in. Good old wigs. Sorry about that. Billy. Velma. The old man Kenros. I think there are more placeholders. Not exactly. They're just,
Yeah.
Bugbear representing Rex. Rex is a lot more lean, a lot more green than that. Or moss covered. Good old Jade.
Jeez.
Good old Julian. And Dazzle is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, Dazzle's a figment of our imagination.
Basically. So, as you guys kind of step through, and Wick's kind of, goggles up in his hair, or in his fin, looks and says, "Oh, I was told there was going to be guests. I was told there was going to be guests."
I'll just walk right up to him and be like, "Hey, Wiggs, how you doing? Long time no see."
He's like, "Welcome, long time no see. Welcome to my Riverside Workshop. We'll call it. I didn't name this place. I didn't name it.
I mean, whatever you call it, we've seen the results of some of it at least, and it's pretty impressive.
Right? I think I've impressed myself even with that. And that's something I'm sure you want to know about. I will tell you about it. Maybe you guys can help me figure out some things about it as well. Looking over at Walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of us maybe.
So, but make yourself comfortable. Good thing that I built an extra storage area so we can kind of make it kind of somewhere you guys can lay down, take it easy. I would say don't mind the mess, but I know you don't. So make yourselves comfortable. May I ask though, why here? Why now?
We're technically on a job. Fact-finding information about exactly what's going on down here. You familiar with the Unveilers?
I guess since you know, duh.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
No, yeah. You don't just. Yes.
Okay.
So sent you.
Ofumo sent us to basically, kind of just, I guess, catch up on what the heck's happening down here.
Gotcha. I would say this place is pretty secure, but make sure in the future you don't address Unveilers, Ofuma, same sentence. Not many people know the connection. Ofuma is council member.
Yes.
He
Together. God
represents.
damn it.
Okay, I'm just watching out for a friend.
We just got the tabards.
He smiles. He's kind of shitting with you, but he's like, serious. You pick out the for clarity's sake, and maybe the DM has not done a very good job. Unveilers exist. People don't necessarily know about the Unveilers. They're kind of a hush-hush secret organization. In front of the Unveilers in the Whitlock proper, which people don't realize, is the museum and their curators.
Yeah.
Fuma is a representative of both the Whitlaw as the council member, and he's the master of information. And then he also, background, real job, I guess you would say, is the master of the Unveilers in this area. So, Unveilers are hush hush. But he's like, it's good to know that you got looped in on all this. So, let's make ourselves comfortable. Let me unsootify, because I am filthy. And we'll talk. We'll catch up.
Appreciate it.
And something in our bellies, because it is about that time. With that, the rest of the group, they kind of disperse. They kind of know, get comfortable with this. Some of them go back to the boat, kind of do whatever maintenance they need to do. Billy's running out there. He's going to scrub down the boat. But yeah, Rex and all of them kind of do their thing. Velma and Ken Ross stay inside. Julian says, "Oh, Wiggs, I need to talk." And Wiggs and Julian kind of walk off, and you kind of make out that they're kind of discussing something. But you guys are free to be within the space. Space is not massive. It's a workshop on the side of an inlet within the river. There's a lot of space for the boat because of the dock and the way that it's set up. There is a workstation which is, cluttered and full of things, instruments and tools and materials for working. There's a storage section next to it that has raw materials and notes and the desk. There's kind of this entry area that is kind of like a common space. And then there's like a secondary area, which is like a secondary supplemental storage supply area. But that one's very sparsely filled up, and you can kind of make yourselves sort of comfortable in there if you wish. But you guys have anything you guys want to discuss among yourselves, or are we going to continue kind of rolling the ball forward? All right. So a little time will pass. Wiggs will kind of come out, got cleaned up a little bit. Some of the grime and all that from his day of work has been washed off.
Yeah, Wix, real quick. Sorry I didn't do this before, but this is Ben, who I don't think you've met.
No, don't know this Ben, but good to see you, Ben.
And
Ben just. Oh.
Somewhere our little Padfoot friend is Yellow is around. I think maybe you've seen him.
I'm gonna pop up on Ben's shoulder and be like, "Oh hey."
Oh yeah, jeez, wow, right there.
Oh. Hi to you as well.
They're the newest additions to the menagerie, but they've still been around for long enough for us to, we're good friends.
Understood. Well, friends of yours are friends of mine, as the saying goes.
Yep.
Are the other ones okay? No one lost in any of your adventures?
No. Just, taking time for their own things.
Understood. Well, I can tell you that those of you that remained down here, so Barb and Grant have been. They basically are in charge of many things down in Greenpost.
That's great.
Doing well. Yeah.
Barb's in charge of giving kids daggers, I imagine.
He's an interesting one, as always. But yes, everyone.
Hopefully he's not really doing that. At least not very often.
No, but he is happy to show people and train.
That's good.
Grant, the builder, Barb is. How do I want to put it? The bodyguard.
Okay.
He patrols. Keeps us safe. Other side of the But yes, and then a little bit more time will pass. You guys can have a little exchanges, get comfortable. The smell of something good starts to fill the space as there is still a slight glow coming from the workshop, as it looks like someone's taking advantage of probably the heat sources in there. And it looks like Rex has prepared some sort of meal for you guys. It's a stew of sorts, locally caught fish, locally sourced, swamp veg. But it smells good, smells delightful. So you guys are welcome to have a meal
Absolutely.
and everything.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right. So, all that being said, who wants to lead the conversation with whoever? All right. Julian will say, "So, my friends, it's very, like I said, jamming to see you, but haven't been around for a while. So why? What mission? What job brings you here?"
Again, like I said, we're curious as to what's going on specifically here in kind of the ruins. Like, on our way here, we ran into some nasty little things that kind of seem to indicate maybe there's still some bad stuff going around over here, and were basically our boss was curious to see if it was something that needs to be worried about spreading, or if it's relatively contained, and basically what's going on here. Like, is there something that needs to be dealt with, or what do you know?
Oh, okay. Well, contained is like saying, I don't know, trying to catch all the rain out of a cloud. You're not going to succeed with something like this. You're right. It is a little weird. There is something lingering, something changing, and that's part of what we are, I guess, here doing, trying to keep it at bay or try to understand the changes. Uh, what um, what did you encounter?
Al, I'll let you explain.
All these terrible, terrible looking things. Kind of bug-like. They're called L barrel. I remember Lucas kept getting the name mixed up as well, and he got me remembering the wrong thing. But they're large burrowing bugs.
Talking
One of
about
the
the
counters.
Ankegs? I was talking about the other
Ankegs.
things.
Oh, you're
That
talking
too,
about
though.
the. Hmm. Because
When you say all kegs, Rex will say, "Some mighty good eat. Yum yum.
Ooh.
A little spicy. Kind of burns when you eat them, but they're done right. They're good." I'm doing the wrong accent. He's the slow one. Sorry. It's some really good eat. Oh God, wrong accent. He's supposed to be California boy. I can't do it right now. My brain. All right. Anyway,
Yeah,
Anyway,
dude,
you get on
it's
the
radically.
105, and then you get down on Sepulveda.
those are like so good. A little spicy, a little tangy. Mm.
Hmm. Well, the young kegs certainly aren't the apex predator around these parts. That's good to know.
No, they're pretty bad. But if you ever get one, let me know. I'll make up
Hmm.
something good.
Oh, good to know. Now you got me curious. Okay. But to to Davis's point, yeah, there are other creatures about. They oof, they gave off a familiar energy from when the incident occurred in Green Hill. The climax of that, and then we had the Earth mode situation after that. Little energy guys. Kind of reminded me of the Mad Titan. They've got this glare about them, but they're very chaotic. They liked they like eating spells and then exploding, and they were pretty indiscriminate about their explosions, and it got really dangerous really fast.
When you're kind of doing that, you'll see that Julian kind of motions to Jade, and Jade kind of nods and kind of grabs a little like rolled up pieces of parchment and kind of brings them over and starts folding them out, and she kind of unveils like a localized map. And Julian says, "Whereabouts did you run in?"
We were coming from the north, less than a day's travel, maybe 8 to 12 hours. We're a little west of the Mason Fair. Maybe around here.
Okay, a little further than we realized. In like, oh, thank you.
Certainly. So I'll take it the group is familiar with them. This has been a how
Not
common.
not regular encounter. No. But based on your description, I think we know what you're talking about. We don't have a name for them. They're just chaos spawn creatures. We don't know. They. So yes, it makes sense that you feel the bad hmm, the bad presence of that thing that showed in the sky.
Mhm.
I am by all means not smart enough to explain what has happened. I will defer to Wiggs, but what I can tell you is the area has been forever, well, maybe not forever, but for the time being, has changed. Uh, what we think we know, we do not know. What we can only dream up of pales in comparison to what we run into sometimes. Uh, it looks like whatever happened brought something with it or woke something up. I don't know. But the ruins themselves are people's safety basically off limits. Uh, ourselves working with Seb and the leaders of Green Post, we do send parties with Marb and them to explore and try to gather some resources and insight, but it's dangerous.
Have you noticed that they seem to be coming specifically for the ruins, or are they just manifesting near it?
That's something we're trying to understand. Uh, the longest anyone has spent within the ruins about 24 hours. Uh, so it is kind of wild in there. It's kind of crazy,
Ooh, I can imagine. Or,
but we do benefit from some of it in a way, or at least we've learned to use some of the I don't know the after effects of what had happened, and I will let Wiggs discuss. Yeah.
I'm guessing Al and a few others kind of lean in when this part starts.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Oh,
Go
all right.
on.
The best I can say is Julian's right on both fronts. Something's that's been here for a long time has reacted to something that is now here. Cryptic, I know. Sorry. Um, okay, we'll start with the boat. The boat. Cool, right? Awesome, right? Marvel of magic and science and artifice, right? Pretty cool, pretty jaw dropping, pretty exciting.
It's pretty dope.
ooh, ooh, ah.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Turns out the stuff that's always been here. Just we didn't know about it. Who do any of y'all the story of how this area became this area? Did anyone ever tell you that story?
I was never one for history books.
Okay. Anyone that's proficient in history, you can do a roll. If you were here in the past for the adventure, so everyone except for Ben and Yellow, you can roll a d6 and add it to the roll if you have been here. But you need to be proficient in history. Al, you're always proficient in history.
Rock, no.
That's right.
18 total.
So pretty good. So
Which
just
is,
roll.
I mean, that was with a nat 1, though.
Yeah, but again, that one. Just let you
Because
kind of have
you're
fun with
just
it.
that smart.
Yeah. So we got a 28 for Al, and then that's it. Okay. So yeah, Theo, you've never been in this area. You don't know the story of it. So it makes sense that you never picked up tales on it. It's kind of a unique area, and I'll actually go ahead and swing over to the Green Hill map just for fun for now.
Yeah.
So we can kind of appreciate the hilliness. And you guys are like down here. And actually, Al is not that. It's Pebble. Pebble's the marker. Go away, Al. Nobody likes
Whoa, wide out.
Whoa!
it.
Ain't nobody getting past me.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah, and then Green Post
Al,
somewhere. Like remember we said like down here somewhere. You know.
can Al pitch one thing about the history real
Yeah.
quick?
Yeah.
You just offer back to Wiggs. This is a different history than for the land and what the hags were trying to do to it, right? Because I remember they had some influence with what they were doing.
Well, if you remember, their matron apparently was exiled.
It relates to that.
Apparently,
Ooh.
at least we think. So, to go with the story. So, yeah, Al, you would pick up on it. Rock, you kind of remember some of the story. So, the basis of the story was the hag mother, and it gets kind of fuzzy. Was she a demigod? Was she a lesser deity? Like it, that distinction is kind of either colloquial or it doesn't really matter. An entity of extreme power, right? Potentially the progenitor and the matron of all hags come after her. She was brought down in a titanic battle with something. That something, Al, you understand from stories, was indeed the pillar. And the pillar is reference to something. You're not entirely sure, but the pillar seems to be a concept of a manifestation of a concept working together toward something. So the hag mother ran into the pillar, and the pillar was able to banish, potentially kill. We're not sure, but once you get that powerful, it's kind of hard to just kill you outright. So the hills of Green Hill are apparently, according to the story, where her blood spilled and it buckled and twisted and warped the land. So everywhere there's a hill is like a drop of her blood. And his entire region is covered with hills. We're talking from here all the way past the deep root. Like it's all hills. If we go to the West Green map, I think I still have it. I think I didn't get rid of it. Yeah, you can still see here, like down here, there's even hills, right? And like this was 10 days worth of travel by land from West Green to Whitlaw, right? That was about 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, like
Yeah,
10,
we
11
did it
days.
in like 7, but yeah, it was 10 days.
Yeah, you guys did it super fast. But like you can see that they stretch all the way here. And you guys are like off the map down here somewhere. So you guys can kind of see it's a massive area. So the story is That yeah, at least the lore or the story is that the mother, the hag mother, was dealt with by the concept of the pillar, and her blood spilled, and everywhere her blood trickled down and touched the ground, it buckled and warped and festered and basically like pimples, essentially, like hills propped up. And that's what people thought. That's what it was. Because that was just it. And then she kind of became forgotten, sealed somewhere. Well, Wiggs will go on and say, it turns out that if it was her blood, or if it was actually her, or her influence or something, there is things to be found in the land. And I think that was actually something that the powerful source is a mineral, an ore that was gathered here but never thought to be of any use. It's just something pretty. Turns out that it looks like it has reacted with the residual energies from the Mad Titan showing itself. So that's a stone we call Solvi here locally. It now seems to have properties. Properties that kind of defy or make sense of reality. It is actually the main reason we're able to make a boat fly. Trying to understand it better myself, but I was able to extrapolate and understand and work on it, refine it to some degree. There are many limitations. It looks like the Solvi needs to be within areas that are still vast and exposed to the wild energies that were brought here. So, and Julian will kind of butt in. So no, the boat cannot go everywhere, my friend.
Good. I mean, no,
We're
that
learning.
you know what I mean.
But there's a limitation. Yeah, so where there is the wild currents, the Solvi reacts, and my devices are able to flip the downward pull of the world of gravity and make it upward. And it allows us to fly a boat.
I figured that out in just a couple months. Pretty impressive.
We figured out, we were not, yes. So, it turns out that some of the forces that were used on the Western Front were actually here and breached long ago and went into the hills, and they were looking for this Dolphy. By forces, he's referring to the giants.
Yep.
It looks like the sisters or hags that were running the scheme knew of this, and I believe if I remember right. No, wait. Is he captured? Shit. It was Hava.
Wiggs was for sure.
Yeah. The big one. No, sorry, yeah, my brain literally just brain farted. I was trying to remember. Yes, the biggest one. The one, I'll never forget her name. Amy,
Yep.
if you remember.
Oh yeah.
So she had told her kin to go and eat to eat the crystals,
Oh,
to
wow.
use the crystals. Turns out it has some pretty interesting effects on them,
Interesting.
being creatures of the land, assuming something of Warp's land.
So is this kind of pretty rock? How familiar are you with the deep route west of here?
I mean, I know you went. I know you
Right. So I don't remember how much. Actually, yeah, this is above table. I don't remember how much we told of him. What we did there.
Quite a lot. At least you told Seb a lot, but you understand that Seb Wiggs was like his right hand man.
Gotcha.
So
I think it was a very small circle, but I think they were too.
So
that you were
the
part of the war room and everything. So I would
fair,
imagine
fair.
that yeah, you told him a lot.
The tower that we went to there that we think used to be a shepherd temple that then the mass shaws turned into something weird. At the base of that, or underneath it, I should say, there was some big thing digging for this. I think we saw this big constructed thing that was digging, and I think it was this.
Oh, wait. I might have it still. Maybe. This will be a throwback if I have this token still in here.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick. I'm curious if
There
anybody
are.
in the fucking party remembers any of this.
Alright, remember the big thing. I will give someone inspiration if they know what Davis is talking about, because I think I know what he's talking about.
I remember the center room. I remember the big room. I remember the beholder.
Nope,
Ah,
not out of that.
no.
Any of that.
None of that.
Was it
Alright.
when everything was dark in the bottom left corner?
Nope.
Not bottom left, close.
Top
It was
left.
top left, actually. It's funny how we remember what room it's in.
Okay, so there's a follow-up to that.
Like
Three.
it's when we came down the stairs. Like the first time we came down was through the stairs, and then we left, and then came back through that other way, I believe. Or is
Yeah,
it
you guys
or the
went.
way around? I can't remember.
Yeah, you guys. Alright, I'll put it up here.
I don't remember the image.
Yeah, top left was that fucking thing was carving.
Sheesh. Oh yeah.
The flesh golem.
Yeah,
So
I
no,
knew it was a golem, but fucking Davis doesn't know that word.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay, yeah. This lovely fella.
The abhorrent golem is what I have in my notes.
That sounds right. Davis, you can take that inspiration because you remember about it.
Damn.
Something similar. Yeah, he had his arms cut off, and they just put metal bars on it so it could just dig and stuff like that. Or its hands were cut off. Yeah. Potentially, yeah. When you describe it, he's potentially. As a correction of history, and Davis, you can get this wrong, but I just want to make sure players know this. This is DM to players. Mashaws didn't go fuck it up. It was Elseweir that went fucked it up. Mashaws were loyal to the Shepherd of Fate.
Well, she is a Manshaw, isn't she?
Yeah, she was an adopted Mashaw. She's not by blood. She was adopted.
Did she forfeit the name?
Eventually she would. Yeah, eventually she forfeited
Well,
it.
yeah, she became.
Ah.
So
she became
she
Nosred.
realized. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the Eldritch entity that took over her.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that whole we'll see if that ever comes back up. But yeah, so so Elseweir was adopted, but Elseweir had potential, and because the Black War was going on, she got drafted into the that, and then she found out she liked to fuck up people real bad, and she found out that she was a twisted psycho crazy person. And that's where she created the husks and stuff like that. But you guys
The
never
troll
got to
battery.
deal. What's that?
And the troll battery.
Yeah, so she's dark and twisted.
Damn,
And
a lot of
she then returned and killed everyone there at the temple. And then she changed that temple into essentially her lab /
Mage tower.
mage
Necromancer.
tower / things. So yeah, Elseweir was not a good person. And just for memory's sake, hey, Nazra Noosh on top of Elseweir's head.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad I still have this folder. And then the original little shits. I might as well do that. The original little shits.
The
Where are you?
original little shits. Oh man, those were harder to deal with than the beholder almost. Don't tell Yarcy I said that.
These things were. But you guys just ran by them. I just remember now. You guys were ran by. Alright, fuck it. We're just running.
Nope.
Nope.
So those guys were the little shits. What was the name for the new ones? I almost said the little shits, and I was like, it's not just V2.
Mad shits.
Mad shits. Thank you. I was like, explodey shits? That's terrible.
I mean, yeah.
That's
Oh god. There's medicine for that.
Yeah. Okay, anywho, but yes. So, I kind of lost track of like who was talking about, but yeah. So the story is just for the notes. Yeah. So, Hag Mother banished, blood spilled. Where the blood landed, the land twisted. Where the land twisted, hills arrived. Within the hills and the areas, there's a substance called Solvi, which is essentially her crystalline blood. Looks like that has properties, and now it looks like her blood interacting with what energies the ritual caused. Hey, Cielo's got it kind of also right. You can give yourself an inspiration, Cielo, if you want. Yeah. We'll get to that, but yes, that is actually, yeah. So then we'll start talking some more. But yeah, so it works out. So, and then because Cielo mentioned it in Roll20, I'll go ahead and go in that direction. The Wiggs will say, no, I figured it out because that and the land was floating. Something had to be making the land float. And we found out that there was a large amount of these crystals in the floaty bits of land. So, did some tests, did some work, figured out how to kind of control it. He puts it very loosely, dropped it onto a boat. Now we have a boat that can fly.
At least in certain parts.
As long as we... And Jade will actually speak up. Yeah, that's kind of why we're marking areas. There's different markers. If you guys are just going to hang around for a little while, I'll have to teach you. There's why I have all these maps. And she like literally is like, Jade's a little kanku. She's like covered, like all the scrolls that she's holding is like, you can barely see her. There's at least like 16 different rolled up pieces of parchment that she's holding, barely. Yeah, so we're marking where we think the currents are, where we know the currents are, where some of the weird stuff has kind of traveled downriver, where we stopped some of the weird stuff, where we collected some of the weird stuff. And by weird stuff, I don't know how to explain it. I mean just weird stuff. So don't ask. I don't know. It's just weird. Three-eyed fish, birds without wings. Never ran into one of those little guys. We've never seen them that far, but that's why I marked them. They're up here now, so they're apparently venturing further. So, sometimes the water turns different colors.
Really?
Pretty cool. Pretty scary, but pretty cool. Like a couple...
Turn red, like a dark red?
Dark red. She looks, and then Ken Ross will kind of speak up. One day there was not blood red, but dark red, yeah.
Okay.
Particular reason?
Well, there was something like that making people go crazy back around when this all was starting to happen. I was just curious if that had stopped happening as well, or if it had...
Oh, I mean, I haven't run into crazy people.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, the red faction and the religious faction. Yeah.
Actually, I remember, now that you mention it, when we still had friends within the cause, yeah, they talked about people basking in the river or something.
Yep.
Got it. No, I mean, I think I've seen the river go red once. But, I guess we'll make a note of it. Right, boss? And he looks over at Julian and Wiggs, and they both kind of nod. Bosses, sirs. But yeah, Wiggs will continue. So, I mean, the tower, what you said there, I guess, sure. I mean, maybe that lady that you dealt with knew about it too and was trying to use it for something.
Probably. She was weird. Seemed like anything that could help make her stronger would be something she'd be super interested in. No matter what.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, I don't think we ever plan on going that far ourselves.
Don't.
But know that it might be something we need to be aware of. But yeah, did some more studying, did some more research. There's not too much more I can say. It looks like I mean, it looks like the stories are true. It's the blood of a god, so it defies what we understand. Lets you do things. But yeah, going on the big guys. If you, I would not recommend eating it. Please do not eat it. I don't know what it would do to you, but it looks like Amy had convinced some of her ilk to eat it and cause them to grow big, strong, and some other things. So, you don't really run into many of them. I have a feeling that there might be some just kind of in the crater, possibly. So that might be also why they're dangerous. But that's the best info I have for you right now.
So that
Magic
explains the floating earth bits. But does it explain these other creatures still being around? Do we know?
You tell me. When he says you tell me, Rex will say, I mean, yo, dude, like, your guy can totally, like, rip a hole and get on our boat somehow. Maybe he's the one that can answer these questions, man.
Maybe.
Wig just kind of looks over at Rock. You do what now, my friend?
Sorry, I missed that.
So Rex was alluding to, like, you're able to, like, rip holes in teleport, essentially.
Oh, yeah. I can do a lot of that. I got this cool little thing, and I'm like, it helps. I don't know. Seems to just be my specialty now. And just for funsies, I'm gonna Misty proof
It's
myself.
just flexing.
Just like right behind him, and I'll be like, "Hi," tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah, nice. Nice. So, Rock, maybe you can enlighten me. Do you know any principles, any fundamental rules, anything that you have to follow to do what you just did?
I know that if you're going to do some harder things over longer distances and maybe involving other people, you kind of gotta know what you're doing and where you're going very poorly. But for the short stuff, I mean, my unreadable book here kind of tells me what to do and do it.
Got you. Go ahead, Rock, as you kind of, and I mean this with love, as you're babbling, go ahead and give me an Arcana. I might give you some insight.
Oh, let's go.
A green 34, so I guess that's nat 20.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so it kind of clicks when he's talking. Actually, with a 34, Al, go ahead and roll me the same Arcana check. I want to see how much you're a part of this. Because you're also someone that teleports around. You can roll it. Yeah, just roll and we'll just kind of add some bonus tiers. I don't know what they are. I was going to do it by feel.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's good too. Yeah, 19.
19.
Okay, yeah. So the way it works, and yeah, as you're kind of talking, there are rules, right, for that, like, allows a mortal to do what you're doing. And when you're thinking about it, and you're hearing Al, you hear Rock kind of talking about it. The idea of that stare kind of comes back to your mind, both from the little, as you guys have dubbed them, the mad shits, but also from the Titan himself. And again, the best way I explain it is it's a overbearing presence. It's suffocating. It's like if you're clenching down on your molars as hard as you can, and then you get like that ringing in your head, and that pressure builds up in your head. It's like that times 20, times 100.
Like when I talk to my bag.
Yes.
Oh boy, that's so true.
That is so true, actually. And as Rock is saying this out, you kind of say out loud, he's still like it's his presence. You say that, and then Rock, it kind of clicks with you that, well, shit. Like maybe there's a, because you flip through reality when you're doing these things, or you either fold reality on itself, or put a little hole in one point, come out another point. It's possible that there's like a bleed. Like you guys have run into a gate that was permanently stuck open. What if that energy is so prominent that it doesn't even need a gate? That it's just like a tear or a little rip or something like that. So that just because the sky opened up and you saw him doesn't mean that the sky fully closed, kind of thing. Maybe there's a little bit of aftermath from that. And that's why his influence is still seeping through and it's manifesting as these mad shits. And maybe his presence is activating the dormant divine magic inside of the Tsolvi that is causing them to work as flotation devices, essentially, right? So yeah, his presence is still here.
Well, we don't want it to go away because then you can't have a flying boat.
Maybe.
Also, if we can teleport, that's just one step away from time travel.
One more
Okay,
dimension.
that's radical.
So close.
But yeah, so in short, a lot of so the tear itself either never fully healed or enough of his influence spilled out that it's kind of taken root and manifested, if that makes sense. That you would have to do investigations on.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I don't think Rock would dig more into it right now because he's too excited to be on a flying boat.
Understood. Yeah, I'm not telling you to dig into it. I'm just telling you this is what your natural 20 for 34 lets you understand. Like, I don't have to go there and see it. I just understand that, yeah, this guy's present still here, and it's warped reality over here. And this, yeah, so you just saved yourselves a trip, essentially. You're like, oh, yeah, I figured out just some words. Just from braining.
Aw, but a trip would be longer on the flying boat.
Yeah,
I rolled a natural one.
You can still trip. I'm not going to say you don't trip. I'm just letting you know.
I'm just using my desk.
I know. I got you. But yeah. So yeah. Wiggs will kind of take that in and be like, well, that's not very well. That's not the best news. If that's true, I don't know what do we do? Is there anything we can do? I was just looking at you guys. Yeah.
I'm
Probably
staring
be
at
a
Rocket
hell of a
now.
time trying to close it if there's something to close. But if there's not, I mean, it could dissipate. I don't think we want to start a fight.
And we think we know how it opened, right? Like it had to do with what the harvest was all about. Does that
Right.
help? I don't know. I mean, it had to do with basically harvesting souls, right? So how do you
Right,
undo
right.
that?
The potential and belief.
Well, I mean, we had closed the portal, right? We did. And then I'll kind of look at at the rest of the group, realizing like I maybe shouldn't have said that.
I mean,
It's a
does
small
anybody
shrug.
know a god of order that's willing to rip a hole open and maybe it'll all cancel out?
Does it work that way?
I don't know.
It's the best idea I've heard so far.
You're a little soft on my end. I don't know if it was for everyone else.
Test.
Yeah, it's better.
Better.
Good, good.
Yeah, sorry, I heard you, but I couldn't make out exactly what you said. I was like, what did you say?
Just a pretty simplistic plan. Just need a god of order to also rip a hole open and cancel out the chaos energy. Balance.
Okay. Balance.
Of course. I think he's onto something.
2 holes make a not hole? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Two
maybe-
holes fill each other?
Maybe Grams it with order or something. I don't know.
Oh.
Energy's
No.
weird. I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I don't know what else to say. I just know. Now I know that this may be bigger than we thought. I
mean, so where is it coming from, right? Like, if it's like a tear or a hole or something, it seems like you're saying that it's to somewhere. Where?
Like an epicenter.
I don't know what
Somewhere
that
where
is. What?
It's a thing with the when materia shakes real hard. It's the middle of a materia quake.
maybe an earthquake. It's still Earth. The ground is still known as Earth. It's fine.
Lowercase e.
Lowercase e. Yes, exactly.
It's earthquakes. It's the middle of an earthquake.
Well, yeah, but
this
does,
one's the
does an
middle
earthquake
of
go somewhere else? Like, what's the other side of the hole? Is what I'm asking.
Cielo, this is in your wheelhouse. Roll me an Arcana check. Also, Rock, you're the teleporty guy. Roll me an Arcana check at advantage because you had an extra 20 last time. So Cielo, regular Arcana, and then Rock, natural 20 gives you advantage on the Arcana.
I got a 30.
Okay.
Could Ben give guidance to Cielo on this? I don't know. I don't want to beg too much, but
Fine. That's
okay.
fine. Yeah, you can. Ben knows Cielo, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
And last I heard, Cielo was on Ben's shoulder, so take a D4, Cielo.
We got a 30 and we got an 18 plus.
Somewhere between 1 and 4.
Yeah. Let me know when you roll, Donnie. Just waiting for the total
There
number.
it is.
There
Alright,
it is.
20. Yeah, let's go.
That actually crossed it over. I was looking for that. So it doesn't. You guys have been exposed to it in such a way that it's normally like a singular tear or a singular portal, right? It doesn't. Cielo, you know this kind of intuitively from your history and your experience, which I don't. Again, you decide how much you want to share, right? You shared some a little bit. There doesn't have to be just one. It could almost be like, where like two realities kind of blend and kind of mesh over one another. And as to where it's going, Cielo wouldn't necessarily know, but it doesn't necessarily. But understands, and Rock, you understand everything that I'm telling Cielo. You would understand, but it doesn't have to be a singular tear, a singular rip, a singular hole, or a singular point. There can be multiples, or there can be like it's two opposite planes kind of bumping into each other and kind of smashing into each other, and that friction's kind of causing bleed on both sides. For Rock, it would make sense that the part, like where it is, what's coming through, or what's on the other side of that, you may not know, but you can imagine it's probably the slice of reality that deity occupies. So, like, the shepherd kind of hangs around within the veil of the afterlife, sees over the maze. This deity probably sees over unrestricted and truly unregulated chaos, wherever that is. So, probably a pretty scary place.
I'll be kind of describing that in my own way. Be like,
Yeah.
well, they're like punching holes in reality, and like, I don't know. It doesn't have to all make sense, but like, in places. But there was a hole punch in a really important place.
Yeah, or multiple little hole punches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A hole that they really didn't want punched.
That's fair.
Mm. Things like a lot of tiny holes. Okay.
Well, it sounds like whatever, even if they are, and this is wigs, if they are tiny, that just shows you how much influence a god has. And for it to, activate or bask, or however you want to say it, the entire area. So, we may have more of a problem than we realize if we can contain it or stop it. So I don't know how we would do that.
Contain it. Maybe.
And after you.
That'd be really hard. I'm not sure the materials would be pretty hard in this. Kind of like look around the room a little nervously.
Yeah. No, the big name wow name. Wix picks up on you looking around, so he's like, "Oh, it would be a big project, big undertaking." But
Well, containing like temporal anomaly?
I see you're sort of familiar with these. Maybe a tear in reality. Let's
Yeah.
try to keep the whatever is coming from the other side from spilling in to our side, right?
Well, closing it is pretty unstable, but you can put a stopper on it, you know?
But what would we use as the stopper?
Well, that's the problem. It's
Order.
the materials for that are pretty hard to come by on this plane of existence. That's my problem.
So there are materials. I'm more used to punching holes myself, and they just kind of steal themselves. But this isn't uncharted territory. There's something we just don't know how to get it. Perhaps.
None that I'm expertly aware of.
Okay. Yeah, it's at least related to, punching holes with the teleportation. I think we can. It's gotta be something we can do.
Oh. This made dinner very interesting, didn't it?
Oh, second half my food's gotten cold. It's too interesting.
Oh. Very well. I believe that is a lot for us to take in. Is there any? So, Johnny, is there any discussions you wish to have? Is there any more insight you want to pick with Wig's brain or the crew's brain? Because they're the ones that are sailing the sea, the river, and the sky, trying to understand it. Anything you guys propose?
I have one more question for them.
Okie dokie.
Um, So, as far as containing it, it piqued my interest. Over the last few months, has anybody noticed anything change? Whether it's, I don't know, the power of the current, the rate, the mad shits are appearing, or other weird anomalies. Maybe even like the distance from town. Um, Things are being affected. Has anything changed drastically over the last few months?
Velma will speak up and say, not that I've noticed. Correct. Nah, man, it's the usual chaos. Kind of puts up his arms. Ken Ross will say, we're still just trying to understand what it's all been for the past few months. I mean, we only just really started, so can't say we've noticed anything. And you kind of get the same answer along, from everyone else.
Hmm.
No spikes, no surges, nothing along those lines.
Okay. At least there's nothing drastic going on. Hmm.
Nothing drastic, yeah.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Very well. So, some other minor discussions will be had. Some information will be shared. So you guys have gathered some information for the sake of bringing back to Ofuma. He was kind of curious for updates and wanting to know what's going on. You guys have some working theories, possibly, or some hypotheses, or however you want to look at it, or even some things that you can point to and say, "See this." Anyone got anything else that they wish to add to the conversation, or to anything to bring up, or
Carlos probably ask like just some sort of generic statistical data about who's, is there people coming back, or is it how many, what's the population area? Some of the more benign stuff, just to be like, if something goes wrong, how many people are in this area that, like for evacuations and things like that. It's general
well, yeah. So
useful info.
actually, let me go. I gotta look at Green Hill real quick. How big was Green Hill in the past? Green Hill.
Like eight,
Green Hill had a
eight or nine.
population of 4,000. Huh?
Like 8 or 9 people.
Was it? Yeah. So Green Hill at its past was about 4,400. Green Post is probably sitting at around 1,000 people now.
Okay.
But most people are, away. Green Post is a ways away from the crater. And really, as they would stress, like, the only people we really know that goes us, and, when Seb or Marb take team to go gather resources or gather information, we share, we're working together, we make sure we catch and we understand what's going on and how it's affecting. But
Mhm.
not too many people go. Now, of course, there will be, like with anything, I assure you, there are other groups and other individuals that are going and trying to take advantage of whatever is there that we are unaware of. That is always the case.
Absolutely. I mean,
But I would say, yeah, Green Hill, around about 1,000 people now. But not very few people that are actually capable, adventurer types or anything. Most of them are
Tradesfolk.
displaced. Yeah, and just trying to make a new home.
but it is.
Understandable. Just the logistics of the area, you know.
Yeah.
See if I'll ask him because how long roughly has it been since we were last here?
I would defer that to my
Yeah.
calendar guy, my tracker. I think.
Oh, look. I don't. It's at least like 5 or 6 months because we were in
I was
Karma
gonna
for
say
4
it's been about
months.
half a year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have.
Like,
I don't have it that far back. Is the problem.
Yeah, I would say safely guessing it's been, we can say half a year because Rock was unconscious for at least a month
I thought it was
after
several.
Car.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so it's not like it's had time to kind of spread its influence, kind of change the area for them to establish, to them making So I would say yeah, it's at least been half a year since everything happened.
Yep. My notes more or less indicate that it's been at least 5-6 months.
So it'd be like, is that roughly like obviously there'd be some triculation, but like, has 1,000 been pretty like bog standard for the last 6 months, or are people coming back, or people leaving?
No, yeah. So they would explain it. As far as we know, the population that is there is the population that has chosen to stay.
Okay.
After the whole incident, a few hundreds headed south and relocated to other cities. But many were lost that day as well.
Of course.
We are pretty much cut off from the north of the strip of the Mason. No, we don't get much interaction with anyone beyond the crater. So much of our trade and commerce and all that, from what I understand, comes from the various townships and villages and hamlets and all that along the route to the south. And much of it is self-gathered and self-sustained, either from a swamp to the west or parties heading to the forests to the east.
Okay.
Which is that still considered the Foxwoods over here, or is it something else?
No, yeah, the High Pines. It's considered the High Pines.
Oh, okay.
So this isn't the best, I don't think. But yeah, so the Foxwoods is actually Foxwoods is the area where Low Pine is. The High Pines is kind of that entire wooded area that heads down and everything, and all that. So you're dealing with the High Pines. And I thought I had a better. I guess we never actually. Oh, we never finished that map. That's what
Yeah,
it
I
was.
think I have a working probably.
Started concepting it, but we never did. So, like, because this isn't like the most topographical. This isn't. This is kind of more like elevation. But so since Green Hill, technically is like now. Let's say like that. And it's Green Post now. I guess I should write. This isn't a good map to do this on, but like this entire like area between like that. I know it's very. You have to zoom in super hard.
I'll paste the thing that I have if you want.
Yeah, if you want. So we
I
can
don't know how accurate it still is, but this is what I have.
Yeah. So like this would all be like massive forest kind of area. And that's known as the High Pines. And the Great Cruel Mountains and the Choke are in here. The Stranglebark is in here. The Snoring Mountain borders it. Like it's a big chunk of woods. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's actually So Danny kind of has it. Yeah, that was a lot better than I thought it was.
Yeah, me too, frankly.
I'm like, damn, son, we actually did some good work. So yeah, that entire blob of green, which I don't know, if you want to throw it up on the stream somehow, you can, Danny. I don't care.
Yeah, sure.
Not super 100% accurate, but it's kind of an idea. So you can kind of see just how big of an area it is, and then you can see how many hills there are as well. So, but yeah, that would be kind of the area that they're dealing with. But yeah, that is all colloquially known as the High Pine. And then the part that's next to Bullpine and kind of north of the Grateful Mountains, that region or that part of the woods is known as the Cottonwoods. And then the part that's like overgrown and super gnarled and super twisted and almost more like a jungle, which is south of the Snoring Mountain, which you guys learned is because of Aristotar's influence. That is known as the Stranglebark. And then there's other pockets of the woods that are known as something else, but you guys never adventured there. So, you know, there might be other names for different parts of the woods, but yeah, just known as the Eastern Front or the High Pines here.
Okay.
Cool. Alright. We are jumping scenes like crazy today, but I don't mind. Alright, guys. So, anything else? Otherwise, evening will progress. You guys can work on whatever you guys wish to work on. You know, prep whatever you guys need to prep. Plan amongst yourselves whatever we need to do. I'm gonna go ahead and say 50. Let's go ahead and put a pause here.